Ang kinakatakot ko po is yung, alam niyo po, si Presidente Duterte ay hindi marunong tumanggap ng pagkatalo. At meron siyang impluwensya at kakayahan na ipapatay ako kahit nasa kulungan ako. Meron nang namatay sa custody ng pulis, sa loob ng presinto, sa loob ng ospital, sa loob ng kulungan. Alam niyo, mahirap pong i-disclose yung identity ng informant at baka po mawala na po ng tiwala yung mga gustong tumulong sa ating sibilyan.
Naintindihan ko po yun.
Pero ang informant number 1, ang sabi niya is si Michael Yang is laging kasama ni ni then candidate Rodrigo Duterte at ni Bongo. At ang sabi niya is kasama rin yan sa Davao 2004 laboratory. So dahil kami nagtrabaho sa Davao, meron kami information sa Davao. So nireview namin yung aming records, tinignan namin kung sino yung pwedeng makausap doon. At nga nung August, may nakausap si Lito, si Captain Perote. Kaya nagpunta kami ng Davao ni Captain Perote para kausapin yung informant number 2.
Okay.
Ang sinabi naman ng informant number 2 is in-identify niya si Michael Yang. Pero hindi niya sinabing pangalan na Michael Yang. Ang sabi niya, itinuro niya dun sa Rock Gallery, Sariaan si Dragon. Sabi ko, bakit Dragon? Sir, may tattoo kasing Dragon yan eh. Paano mo naman nalaman? Eh, nakita ko sir eh. Yun ang tawag sa kanya, Dragon. O anong involvement niya doon sa laboratory sa Domo eh. Sir, siya yung tumanggap ng 2 container van at siyang nag-ayos. Yung iba dinala sa Domo, yung iba dinala sa Cagayan de Oro.
Pwede ho bang malaman kung alam nyo kung ano yung relasyon ng inyong confidential informant dito kay Michael Yang? Siya ba ay amo ba niya si Michael Yang? Siya ba ay trabahante doon sa sinasabing laboratorio? Ano, pwede ho bang mabigyan nyo kami ng idea?
Pwede ko pong sabihin, pero sana po is sa sekreto po. At kasi kung ikwento ko po sa inyo kung ano yung relasyon, malalaman, baka mabuko po yung asset, kawawa naman.
Sige, siguro mangangailangan tayo ng isang confidential executive meeting siguro soon, no? Hindi pa ngayon. Kami, kumukuha lang ho kami ng mga information para ho mabuo sa aming isipan yung aming iniimbestigahan dito. Gagaya ng nabanggit ko kanina na maaaring may kinalaman yung mga kumpanya na kung saan ang pangalan ng mga may-ari ay Mr. Michael Yang doon sa kumpanya na nagmamay-ari ng warehouse sa Mexico, Pampanga na meron pong shabu. So gusto lang naming malaman, no? Kagaya nung nabanggit nyo kasi kanina, sinabi nyo na si yung Michael Yang na yan, may tattoo sa likod at ang pangalan niya ay Dragon according to your asset. And it appears na dahil alam niya, nakikita niya siguro na Cuba, he must probably be an insider. Siguro, that's the way it operates, di ba? Alam naman po natin yun. So since you're not at liberty to disclose kung sino yung mga pangalan na yun, siguro na lang ho, ano yung relasyon naman nung nabanggit nyo kanina na Mr. Chua, ano yun? Yung Johnson Chua at saka yung Michael
Johnson
Yang.
Chua po.
Anong relasyon ng Michael Yang ho at saka yung Johnson Chua?
Si Johnson Chua, siya po ang may-ari at nag-finance nung Domoy Shabu Laboratory.
Paano nyo po nalaman na siya ang nag-finance? Meron ho ba kayong paper trail? Meron ho ba kayong ebidensya dyan?
And, yun po ay resulta ng old-fashioned police intelligence work. na assessment ng mga ano na ginawa namin.
Okay.
Yun din po ay galing din po sa mga informante. Yan pong si Johnson Chua, nung ni-raid namin yung Domoy nung December 31, 2004, meron siyang bahay sa Davao City, malapit sa eskwelahan ng Stella Maris. Itong bahay na to ay pinupunta to ni Alan C. Nakikita namin siya doon pero hindi namin alam ang pangalan niya. Ang gamit ng sasakyan is Pajero. Nung ni-raid namin nung 31, si Johnson Chua ay dali-daling tumakas. Kumbaga is after a few hours na ni-raid namin yung Domoy, si Johnson Chua ay tumakas papuntang Maynila by land. Gamit niya yung kanyang Pajero. Yan ang kwento, ang report sa amin ng asset.
Okay.
Kaya hindi namin nahuli si Johnson Chua. At tapos, na-identify namin si Johnson Chua dahil yung warehouse sa Cagayan de Oro, siya ang nakalistang lessor. Siya ang nagrenta ng warehouse kung saan nahuli yung mga chemicals. Ito ay ni-rate ng PIDEA Regional Office 10. Ang nag-rate noon ay ang Regional Director na si Rene Orbe.
Okay.
Pero ang nakadiscover nung bodega na yon ay kami rin po. Kaya lang hindi namin siya ni-rate kasi ang thinking namin is babalikan yon para kunin. So, ibinigay namin sa PIDEA 10 noon na bantayan kung sinong kukuha. Kaya lang po, ang nangyari is nainip ang PIDEA Region 10, ni-rate nila nang hindi namin alam.
Okay.
So, nung ni-rate, nag-file na ng kaso. Pangalan ni Johnson Chua ang nagrenta. Kaya siya na-issuehan ng warrant sa Cagayan de Oro.
Okay. Meron ho ba kayong idea ano nangyari doon sa yung sinasabi nyong na facilitate nung Mr. Michael Yang na shipment? 'Di ba? Ang sabi nyo kanina pag sa pagkakatanda ko, yung shipment na yon, isa dineliver sa Cagayan de Oro, yung isang container, at isang container ay dineliver naman po sa Davao. Tama po ba yung pagkakatanda ko?
Yung dalawang container po is na-discarga lahat sa Davao City. Sa isang bodega ron bodega ni Alan C.
Okay.
Tapos, at unti-unti po nilang inililipat sa iba-ibang mga laboratory sa Domoy at sa Cagayan de Oro.
Okay. Sige po. Salamat po, Colonel. The members
Salamat po.
is now Congressman Dan Fernandez.
Mr. Acierto, pwede po bang malaman yung kanina nadinig ko po 2 dekada na kayo sa no? Sa serbisyo. 2 dekada na po kayo. So noong 2004 involved na ho kayo doon sa Dumoy, no? 2 dekada, so 20
Opo.
years.
Opo.
Have you undergone any lifestyle check na po that was conducted by the Senate before? Meron na po ba kayong ganong na-conduct sa inyong lifestyle check?
Alam niyo po, nung kinasuhan po ako doon sa Senate,
Opo.
na-pros na po yung aming asset.
Oo. Na-freeze po yung asset.
Kaya lang po ngayon is na-freeze na po yung asset ko noon. Pero wala po kasi silang na-file na kaso. Na-lift na po yung freeze order.
Okay, so magkano naman po, kung pwede po malaman kung malaki ba yung na-freeze na asset or maliit lamang po?
Ay, hindi ko po alam. Dahil,
yung asset po ninyo, yung
wala na.
Mga magkano po yung naging asset?
Hindi ko po masagot kasi wala po akong records.
Nung asset po ninyo?
Oo.
During the time that you have conducted a hearing with the Senate, nag-undergo po kayo at na-freeze po yung assets po ninyo during that time. So, basically, sinasabi niyo po ngayon, hindi niyo po alam kung magkano yung asset ninyo? That was freezed?
Kasi
I
po,
hope
hindi
you
ko po
don't mind,
nakita yung
Mr.
order.
Sherto, what we're trying to
Opo.
point out here is also
Ngayon,
to
naiintindihan ko po. Trabaho niyo po yun.
to test your integrity as a resource speaker, because yung pong inyong discussion dito about your presentation is so long that we understand yung pong inyong pong mga sinabi. Basically, yung iba napanood ko na rin po sa Senate hearing, and yung iba may mga bago po ako na dinig ngayon, but we wanted to compare your lifestyle with those that you are accusing of. Basically, kung sasabihin natin sila Michael Yang, we all know that they are affluent, di ba? Affluent po ngayon, at kita po natin yung iba po nilang mga kasamahan. Basically, ako, I do believe that ganun din po sila. And we wanted to compare lamang po yung buhay ninyo sa ngayon, sa buhay nila. Ako po, yun po yung nais kong malaman sa pagkakataon ito. That's the reason why I'm asking this. I hope you don't mind that I think it's imperative on this representation to find out how much asset was freezed during that time that you have a hearing in the Senate. May we possibly know how much the assets we're talking about?
Uulitin ko po. Ako po ay simple lang po kami. At simula nung magtago ako, 6 na taon na po. Mag-6 na taon na. Wala po akong nakausap. Hindi ko po nakita yung complaint na pinail sa akin. Hindi ko rin nakita yung freeze order, maski yung lifting ng order. Lagi pong balita lang ang natatanggap ko.
Sige, yun na.
Kaya gusto ko man mong sagutin yun.
Yes.
Hindi ko po masagot ng tama.
Okay.
Mahirap naman po manghula.
Tama po.
At ayoko pong magsinungaling sa inyo.
Okay, I understand po, Mr. Asierto. Sa inyo na lang po ang pagkakaalam, sa sarili nyo po. Siyempre, tayo naman po, may kanya-kanya po tayong property. Ilan po ba ang property niyo? Ilan po bahay ninyo? Ilan po yung inyong pong, kung meron pa po kayong negosyo ng inyong pamilya? Ganon, meron po ba? Dito sa Pilipinas or abroad?
Uulitin ko po, simple lang po kami.
So, wala naman po kayong masyadong properties. Ilan pong bahay ninyo? Ilan po ang sasakyan ninyo? Nasa abroad po ba kayo ngayon, Mr. Asierto?
Ay, for security reason po. Pasensya na.
Hindi, naiintindihan po
Ako po
namin.
ay pinapapatay ni
No, we understand that, Mr. Asierto.
para naman pong
Ako really, I really understand that. But anyway, sige po. What I really wanted is really just like to compare your life with those people you are accusing of. Siguro, kung masasabi nyo sa amin, mas maganda po sana kasi basically kasi marami po kayong naakasuhan dito, Ms. Asierto, mula kay Duterte, kay Senator Bato, kay Senator Bongo, kila Albayalde, Aaron, Wilkins Villanueva, at sa sinabi niyo po kanina sa opening statement po ninyo, ito po yung mga taong lumoko sa atin, at basically, nung in-expose po ninyo ito, ay binalikan kayo at kayo naman ang naging protector, naging kidnapper. So basically, kung titignan po natin, nagbatuhan lamang po yung akusasyon na sinimulan ninyo at binalikan din po kayo. At the reason why kayo ngayon ay nagtatago dahil nga po during that time ay warrant of arrest was issued sa inyo po. At dito po sa sinasabi po natin na nagkaroon po kayo ng raid sa Dumoy, meron po bang mga namatay na tao doon during that time na conduct tong raid na to?
meron po, 6.
At sila po ay mga empleyado po doon?
Opo.
Chinese po yun?
Opo.
And dito po, binabanggit po niyo yung owner kanina, si Johnson Chua, correct?
Opo.
Mr. Chair, kasi yung Johnson Chua, ngayon ko lang po nadinig yung pangalan na yun. Is he still around? Can we invite this person to appear on this hearing? Because kung titingnan ko yung mga pangalan dito, mga usual na po yung nakikita ko, Mr. Asierto. Pero itong Johnson Chua na sinasabi niyong owner, financer, noong sa Dumoy raid, basically, parang bago po sa akin to. So, I believe that we need to invite this person, considering that other personality that were being mentioned by Mr. Asierto were already summoned by this committee. I so move, Mr. Chair, yung invitation.
Okay, Congressman Fernandez, as alleged by Colonel Asierto, itong si Mr. Chua ay isang drug lord. So, dahil siya po ay isang drug lord at wala ho siya dito ngayon sa ating bansa, napakahirap pong imbitahin ito. And we're just relying on the reports by Colonel Asierto as well as the reports by the Philippine National Police as to the whereabouts of certain drug personalities, where most of them who are identified as drug lords are not anymore in the country.
Yeah.
In fact, yung ibang ang iniimbestiga natin, like Mr. Willie Ong, has already left the country the day after we first had our first committee hearing, no? So we will try to will try to locate, no, and we can locate him, and which I doubt, no. We'll try to invite him.
In that case, Mr. Chairman, may we ask the DOJ or the immigration to find out the last date that this person went out from this country. Siguro para makita natin, baka mamaya or nag-ignore or whatever. Best effort na lang po, Mr. Chairman, on that case.
Yeah, we'll get more information about the certain Mr. Johnson Chua, because we're not even sure whether Johnson Chua is his real name.
Yes.
So we'd like to get more information from the law enforcement units that operated on Mr. Johnson Chua.
Yes, tapos Mr. Asierto, no, if I proceed, Mr. Chair.
Please proceed.
Yung sa RTC Cavite, kasi na-mention po ninyo yung kaso nung certain Alan Lim na dismiss through technicality under Section 8 of Article 2 of Republic Act 9165. So, ang judge pala during that time yung ating pong NBI director na ngayon na si Jimmy Santiago. So, maybe he can clarify a lot of things about that case, why it was dismissed, no? So may we invite also the NBI director in the next hearing, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Congressman Fernandez. In fact, we sent out invitation to the newly designated NBI director, but I think there was an earlier commitment to Malacanang, no? So that's why he sent Attorney Galicia to speak in behalf of the NBI director, I suppose, no, on the information that we are on the investigation that we are conducting in this committee. So
yes,
ganun pa man. So we will
thank you so much.
Perhaps ask some information as to the details of the dismissed case against Mr. Mr. Alan C.
Alan Lim, hindi ko maintindihan Mr. Chairman kasi meron dito Alan Lim O yun sa kaso sa RTC Branch 18 sa Cavite po, that was decided by the former judge ng Cavite ng RTC Branch 18, who is Jaime Santiago during that time.
Sige, perhaps you can just get information from the NBI.
Yes, oo. And a while ago, Mr. Chairman, I have seen the sequence of the presentation of Mr. Asierto, that talaga very detailed yung kanyang mga presentation, and a lot of personality was mentioned, like si Coscolan. I believe Coscolan is already buhay pa ba siya? Dead na siya, no? So we cannot invite him anymore, and siguro yun na lang po lahat ng mga minention yung mga personality dito mas be invited as well para to shed light on the accusation of Mr. Asierto, para naman maging fair tayo sa ating pong committee. And even General Bigdana was mentioned, and si Oscar Albayalde, and a lot of personalities. And ako po, saludo naman ako sa inyo, Mr. Asierto, dahil napakatapang po ninyo at naalala niyo pa po ng mga details na to. And rest assured that this committee, we will be digging deeper really what happened. At kayo nga po ay maraming accusation din po sa inyo that was thrown against you, and we wanted to ferret out kung ano po talaga yung katotohanan, because alam na po natin na nagsimula to dun sa expose nyo during the time that the former president is still the president of this country. And I know that it's hard, no, for you to do that, but ginawa po nyo yung tungkulin nyo bilang Pilipino. But of course, you cannot from us to that also yung that's the reason tinatanong yung inyong pong personality nyo. Ano ba meron kayo for us or somehow have a pundasyon ng aming pagmumulan ng aming pong pagdidesisyon sa magiging resolusyon ng committee ito. For the Mr. Chairman, yung po muna, at maraming po salamat for giving me a chance to speak. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you, Congressman Fernandez. Congressman Keith Flores, and then Congresswoman Luistro.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Colonel Asherto, sir.
Opo.
I just want to clarify things
Magandang
on
umaga po.
your statement, but before that, may we request for a copy of the timeline that you submitted so that we can have printed copies? Para mas madali po yung questioning natin kasi based on the
Opo.
timelines that you provided.
Opo, ipapadala ko po.
And also po, if you have a copy of your report that you submitted in 20, kailan ba yun? Yung sinubmit niyo na report kay, kanina yun? Kay Bato, kay Abayalde, and ano. Can we also have a copy of that?
Opo.
Okay. Now, sir, ang question...
Ipapadala ko na lang po sa committee.
Sige po. Now, ang unang question ko po is, you've mentioned the name Michael Yang. Pero sa lahat ng mentions mo kay Michael Yang, the only parang direct na mention that you've made about him being involved in drugs is that siya yung nag-receive ng shipment of chemicals and equipment in 2004 dun sa Davao.
Tama.
Tama pa ba? So, any other involvement na
Oh.
ni Michael Yang na which you included in your report, which you did not say lang in your statement kanina? Kasi parang you always bring up the name of Michael Yang, but yet the only parang direct participation that you've mentioned of him being involved in drugs is the fact that he was the one who received the chemicals, the shipment of chemicals and equipment in the year 2004 in Davao.
Totoo po, ang report ko lang po ay yung kanyang involvement sa Davao. Kasi during that time, 2004, ay kumbaga is nasa low-level worker siya ng sindikato. Pero ngayon po, 2016, ang haba na po ng panahon, sa tingin ko po ay tumaas na ang ranggo.
Sige, Presidente, tanungin nyo na.
Nawala. Chair, nawala.
Secretariat, can you check the internet again, please?
So, sorry po, naputol.
Yan
Ano po?
Please continue pa, sir.
Hello? Oh.
Yes, sir.
Ulitin ko po, nung 2004, si Michael lang ay parang trabahante pa lang noon. Nung lumipas ang habang panahon, tumaas ang posisyon niya sa sindikato. So ngayon po is mataas na siya. Hindi na po siya umahawak ng droga. Kumbaga is nagmamando na lang siya.
Okay, so that's 12 years after yung 2004.
So,
Kasi 2004, siya lang yung nag-receive ng chemicals and equipment eh. Ngayon, you're saying that based on the intelligence reports that you received, tumaas na yung ranko niya. Now, this time, he's no longer just involved in receiving and distributing the equipment, but siya na yung nagbibigay ng orders. Is that correct?
Opo, kasi nga po, diba, sabi ni Presidente Duterte, siya yung pagador.
What's
Siya yung tiga-ayos ng negosyo.
Parang fixer. Yung pagador, yung ba
Oh.
fixer ba tawag doon, Colonel?
Kinakasamo.
Opo, mukhang yun po ang ibig sabihin ni Presidente Duterte.
Okay po.
Fixer ng mga illegal na droga, pogo.
Okay po. Now, other than that po, na sinabi mong na-mention ni President Duterte, from your informants or from your investigation po, ano pa po ang na-establish ninyo which was stated in your report that directly links Mr. Michael Yang to illegal drug activities?
Ang na-discover ko lang po talaga is yung sa Domoy. Kasi nga po ngayong 2016, mataas na yung posisyon niya, hindi na siya hahawak. So, pero yung aking confirmation, based sa aking assessment, nung ginawa ko yung report ko, simple lang naman po yung report ko eh. Yung report ko po ay parang sinasabi ko lang na si Michael lang ay laging kasama ni Duterte na involved sa droga. Baka hindi alam ni Presidente.
Okay. So yung premise
Kung hindi
po,
alam ni Presidente involved si...
so iklaruhin ko lang po
Kung hindi alam ni Presidente na involved si...
So yung premise po ng report nyo,
Na hindi
is that
involved,
na-confirm ninyo na si Mr. Michael Yang was involved in the Dumoy operations and that since he is seen to be close to the President, gusto nyong iparating or paabot na this person was confirmed to have been involved in a certain drug activity in the year 2004 in Davao City. Tama po ba?
Opo. Baka po hindi alam ni Presidente.
Alright. Now, you also testified that you submitted your report to then Chief PNP Ronald Bato de la Rosa. Is that correct?
Hindi po ako kung ang personal na nagbigay. Pinakuha niya yung report ko kay General Cascolan.
Okay.
Kasi nalaman niya pong meron akong report.
So, pinakuha niya from
Opo.
General Cascolan.
Opo.
Okay. Now, do you remember when was that, Colonel Asierto? Anong date yun? Anong year yun?
I think it's second or third week ng December 2017.
And to be clear lang po, no? Yung report niyo naman na sinubmit, hindi Xerox copy na may mga puncher holes lang or picture lang po ng Xerox copy or something like that. This is a complete report that you submitted.
Hindi po. Complete po yun.
And you were
complete po yun. Wala po yung puncher.
Okay.
Wala po siyang butas ng puncher.
Okay. Tapos you were willing to appear before then Chief PNP Bato de la Rosa if he had further questions about your investigation. Is that correct?
Yun po ang inaantay ko na gagawin niya. Yun po yung basic supposed to be. Pero ang ginawa niya, ang kinausap niya is si Alan Lee. Imbis na yung gumawa ng report, ang kinausap niya yung subject ng report.
Okay. Now, to be fair naman po, baka naman po, once he received your report, he conducted his own investigation and found out that there was no involvement of Mr. Michael Yang sa drugs. So is it also possible na ganun po ang nangyari?
Posible po. Posible po. Bakit? Hindi po yun. Hindi po imposible yun. Pero nasan po yung report? Meron po bang ginawang report si Chief PNP de la Rosa? Ibinigay niya ba yung report sa DI para i-validate? O sa Drug Enforcement para i-validate? O ibinigay niya kaya para i-validate?
Kasi
Siya mismo nag-validate eh.
Kasi I'm interested in this po na nung nangyari with your report. Kasi in a lot of the yung mga nag-testify ng mga biktima po ng EJK, most of them claimed that ang mga pangalan ng mga anak, asawa or ama nila were taken from reports submitted by the barangay level lang eh. No? So kung barangay level nga lang pinagbibigyan ng importansya po, why was your report not given the same importance kung ganun man? That's what I want to find out.
Yun din po yung gusto kong malaman eh. At doon po ako nagtataka. Bakit hindi nila ako binalikan para sabihin kung mali man yung report ko o hindi. Pero ang nawa nila is siniraan nila ako. Pinutulungan nila akong sirain yung aking reputasyon. So ano ibig sabihin? Pinagkahanda yung mga lamp ng report ko. Mas simple naman po yun eh. Ipinatawag banda si Michael Yang. Katulad ni General Aquino, meron siyang power. Pwede niyang isupin.
Talaga steady to.
Secretariat, can you please check again?
Sorry po, naputol. Hello? Hello?
Yes sir. You're back pa. Okay pa. So na-establish na po na
Si General Aquino ba?
na walang nangyari sa report nyo.
Pinatawag pa ni General.
There was no feedback,
BD, Mike Yang. Wala.
Walang feedback, walang
No official feedback. No
walang
official
document nagsabi na hindi validated yung investigations nyo, and based on our own investigations, yung investigation mo is baseless and without merit or something. Walang anything na report like that.
Wala
Sir.
po. Puro sa press con din. Yung mga press release nila.
Okay. So now, other than Chief PNP Bato,
Isa pang
po, you mentioned that you also submitted the same report to General Abayalde, correct?
Opo. Nung May
And that there was a
2018.
point in time where General Abayalde also denied meeting you and receiving the report that you submitted, correct?
Opo, nasa ano po yan? Nasa news.
Okay. Now, sir, hindi ba kayo willing maging like state witness or come back na witness protection program para po siguro it's easier to follow up on your investigation pag nandito po kayo or within the jurisdiction of the Philippines po?
Willing po akong tumulong. Lalo na sa ICC. Kaya lang po, yung problema ko is yung kaso na nakapatong pa sa akin.
Alright.
Meron po akong warrant at ang kinakatakot ko po is yung, alam niyo po, si Presidente Duterte ay hindi marunong tumanggap ng pagkatalo. At meron siyang impluwensya at kakayahan na ipapatay ako kahit nasa kulungan ako. Meron nang namatay sa custody ng pulis, sa loob ng presinto, sa loob ng ospital, sa loob ng kulungan. So,
Okay po. Sige. Thank you, Colonel Ashero. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Congresswoman, thank you, Congresswoman Flores. Congresswoman Luistro, you're recognized.
Mr. Chair, I wish to be reminded that our investigation is about Empire 999, where Shabu were located and found. So, may I invite the attention of the committee? Kanina po, sa report ni Colonel Asherto, he mentioned about a certain Johnson Chua and a certain Alan C. as drug operators in Domoy Raid. Ito po ba ay may relasyon o kaugnayan sa mga incorporators ng Empire 999? Because as we can see, meron po tayo ditong Elaine Chua. Is she related to Johnson Chua? We also have Michelle C. Is she related to Alan C? Do we have available information from the committee, and can we confirm from Colonel Asherto if he has knowledge about the possible relationship of these incorporators with the two personalities behind the Domoy raid? Mr. Chair.
Colonel Acerto, pakisagot po yung tanong ni Congresswoman Luistro.
Opo. Sorry po, wala po akong impormasyon tungkol doon sa mga pangalan na nabanggit nyo ng mga incorporator. At wala po ako ngayong kapabilidad na i-verify yan.
Mr. Chair, do we have the PSA here? I wish to request that we look into this. If through the records with the PSA ay may makikita po ba tayong relationship between Elaine Chua, incorporator of Empire 999, with Johnson Chua, one of the drug operators identified by Colonel Acerto in Domoy raid. Same with incorporator Michelle C. about her possible relationship with Alan C., another drug operator identified by Colonel Acerto in Domoy raid. Can we hear from PSA, Mr. Chair?
PSA, please
Good morning.
answer the query of Congresswoman Luistro.
Magandang tanghali po, Mr. Chair and Madam. We will check po if there is much records of Elaine and Johnson and Michelle and Alan C.